All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another NBA regular season video. We got two games last night, one really good one, the other one not so good. So hopefully this will be a quicker video. Last night we got the Orlando Magic heading up to Madison Square Garden to play the Knicks, where they got the win, and then we had the bludgeoning, the just the whatever word precedes bludgeoning of the Lakers from Oklahoma in Oklahoma. A wild game to watch for other reasons. We're mainly going to focus on the Knicks and the Magic because that was the better game, but we will also talk about the Thunder absolutely demolishing the Lakers. So if you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. So let's chat about Orlando versus the Knicks. This both these games are pretty strange in my opinion. Strange for different reasons, obviously, because the Lakers got blown out in their game, but this was a strange game for the Knicks because it looked like the worst brand of basketball they've played all year so far. And they lost their first home game to the Magic. The Magic improved to 6-6, while the Knicks regressed to 7-4 on the season, respectively. So let's talk about the Magic first, and then we'll talk about the Knicks. And I have my notes as well that I refer to when we do these videos. My first note here is of Desmond Bane. I said Desmond Bane is cooking early, and he was cooking early, and in fact, he carried this out throughout the whole game, and he looked really good. He looked supreme, the best he's ever looked in an Orlando Magic jersey. He finished the game 22 points. What is this? Oh my God, 24 points, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. ESPN has once again moved around their stat sheet, so everything is in a different place again. So I apologize if I'm waiting to look at a number because they've moved it again. They moved the numbers from the minutes played from the left of the screen to the right of the screen, which is lovely. It just confused me even more. Um, so yeah, Desmond Bane looked really good, and he looked like Grizzlies Desmond Bane. He looked really comfortable, and part of the reason why he looked really good was because there were more shots for him and there were more shots attempts. And the reason for why there were more shot attempts was because their other star, Paulo Banchero, went down with an injury near his hamstring. And he looked uncomfortable for a couple possessions. And then the Magic head coach called a timeout and they pulled him and he went directly to the back. And it was probable that he would return. And then he did not return. And throughout the course of those minutes when Paulo wasn't out there, um, at least for Orlando, it was looking really good. The Knicks were turning the ball over at the beginning of the second, and the Magic capitalized. I mean, you have like Jalen Suggs, 14 points here. Um, Franz Wagner, 28 points. He looked really good too. He reminds everybody why he's Franz Wagner. At least a couple games out of the year. You had Wendell Carter, 13. You had a Goga Bitadze 10. You had an Anthony Black 17. This is the end game numbers for them, but they looked really good. It actually looked like they had an identity, and I hate to be the guy to say this, but it was partly because they didn't have Paulo out there. Because Paulo could be a gosh damn black hole sometimes and just take up so many dribbles and so many possessions and wasting so much shot clock getting into his stuff versus what they were doing without him. The ball was snapping around. Their defense was turning into offense. They had some amazing defense, like truly amazing, versus a Knicks team that isn't particularly known for their offense. But when the Knicks have it going, you got Karl Anthony Towns, you got Jalen Brunson, you got Mikal Bridges, you got Jordan Clarkson off the bench, you have Josh Hart who can get hot, Miles McBride. You have a bunch of buckets on this Knicks team, and the Magic really didn't let any of them get going. Really, Jalen Brunson did have 31 this game. We'll talk about him more a bit later, but um, the Magic played their best basketball, and the Knicks look like they played the worst basketball they've played even since last postseason. So the last, like, what would this be? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Give it like 15, 16 games. Over the last 15, 16 games in grand total from last season and into this season, this is probably the worst I've seen the Knicks play. Um, Absolutely the worst. Um, the Magic did not just build this lead, blow them out. They built this lead brick by brick. and it was fascinating to watch because like the Knicks would go down, maybe score 2 buckets, and then the Magic would answer with like two defensive stops, maybe not answering a bucket, but two defensive stops, and then they would come down and ring off like a couple shots in a row, and it would go back up. And it was fascinating to watch because usually you see a team like blow the other team out, but the Magic built it brick by brick, slowly by slowly, wearing this Knicks team down, um, and eventually wearing Jalen Brunson down. um, Jalen Brunson left this game. He played 31 minutes in total. Probably could have played a couple more, but he left the game with a with an injury. Let me see. Um, yes, so yeah, he had a leg injury. Does it say which leg? It does not say which leg, but he sustained a leg injury at the end of the game, which was unfortunate because the Knicks were actually starting to make a run and started to break into this magic lead. And once Jalen Brunson went down, it was over really. He was literally injured in the final minutes, and what maybe could have turned into a more competitive game turned into like a real. I won't call this a blowout, but a near blowout. Other guys for the Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns 15, um, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 personal fouls. Carl, man, Karl Anthony Towns, he's having a rough beginning of the season, dude. He's in so much foul trouble. Mitchell Robinson, 4 fouls as well, only 2 points, 8 rebounds. OG Anunoby, 8 points, no show. 2 blocks, 1 steal. Mikal Bridges, no show, 6 points. And then off the bench, you didn't really have anybody except Josh Hart and Landry Shamet, 10 and 11 individually as well. And then we got an update after this game, or later in the night, I should say. We got an update that Jalen Brunson did indeed leave MSG on crutches and in a walking boot. The walking boot's probably just precautionary till they get an MRI or an X-ray on his leg, but that's not good. That's not good, and especially with the foul trouble Karl Anthony Towns has been in these big games, and Mikal Bridges really not being that guy that you may have thought he could be, and OG Anunoby. If Jalen Brunson misses any crucial amount of time, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all for this team. For a team that is only holding on to a 7-4 record right now, that could easily dip to 7-7 if they aren't careful. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with the Knicks. Um, and the Magic looked good for once. I mean, they lost Paulo, and it's quite. He did not return this game. Let's see if we have an update on him. Um, yeah, no update on him, so they're probably just being precautionary with Paulo. But yeah, let's move on here. Obviously, oh well, I didn't mention it. Franz Wagner, top left. Jalen Brunson, top right, and then Jalen Suggs. Did we mention Jalen Suggs? Jalen Suggs, 14 points, middle left on your screen. Um, Yeah, and that's that game. Very very. I don't know why I felt strange to watch. It felt. I think it was literally the best the Magic had played and the worst the Knicks had played, and it was just mind boggling because the Magic had been so bad all year essentially, and the Knicks looked really good, and it just flipped. It was one of those weird inflection points in the season. Um, Moving on here to the less interest. Not shouldn't say less competitive game. Lakers versus um, Oklahoma. The Oklahoma City Thunder won this game 121 to the Lakers 92. It looks a little bit more respectable than it was. The Thunder outscored the Lakers every quarter except the fourth quarter. Um, and this was an absolute beatdown. This was embarrassing. Truly, truly embarrassing for the Lakers. A team that has been on a pretty competitive roll. Luca's look good. AR's look good. Um, and they're waiting on LeBron to come back. And LeBron, we got a report that he was practicing with the South Bay Lakers, the G League affiliate of the Los Angeles Lakers, and they're waiting. LeBron is very close to his return, and they might need it. I was literally saying before this game, and the game um, games before this. I was like, oh, maybe they don't need LeBron. And it's like, maybe they after this game, it's like, yeah, they probably need LeBron. Not that LeBron would, because LeBron doesn't get up and down the floor like that. He probably would have had a hard time against the Oklahoma City Thunder team. But almost every team in the NBA has a hard time against the Oklahoma City Thunder team. And he probably wouldn't have done much, but he could have done a little bit better. and I really don't want to talk about this game in full. I'm going to give you some numbers here, like I always do. Luka Doncic, 19, had a really rough night. 7 of 20 overall from field goal, 1 of 7 from three. Austin Reeves, 13, bad splits, did not make a three. Rui Hachimura, 13, did not perform well. 5 of 11 from field goal, 2 of 5 from three. Um, DeAndre had 4 personal fouls, 5 rebounds, 6 points. Not This is the version of DeAndre I'm familiar with. Is the one that really doesn't show up when you need him to show up. Now, he was going against. Granted, he was going up against Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein. Like those are bad matchups for him. On any night, those are bad matchups. On any team DeAndre is on, those are bad matchups. But man, it wasn't a good night from the Lakers. Versus the Thunder, who had was this 7 people in double digits. You got Isaiah Hartenstein 11, Chet Holmgren 11, Shea 30, AJ Mitchell 14, Usman Dang 10, Alex Caruso 10, Isaiah Joe 21. Um, and as a team, let's see. As a team, they had where is it? They only had 11 turnovers versus the Lakers 20. Um, Incredible stuff. The defense was palpable. You could feel it through the screen. It was the sort of defense that is absolutely demoralizing because it's off the loose balls, it's off the rebounds. It's the easy stuff, but it's also the hard stuff that the Thunder were getting after. And you could see just like the first quarter is like, oh, okay, we made some mistakes. Let's move on. The Lakers, and then second quarter is like, oh god, we made a lot of mistakes. And then the third quarter, you could just feel it coming out of the halftime. It was like, oh, we've made too many mistakes. We're not coming back from this. and they this game was literally like showing what the different tiers of the West are. There's like the Lakers and everybody else, the Lakers and some other teams, and you have the everybody else. Then you have like Oklahoma City and like 2 other teams, like maybe the Nuggets and the Rockets. They're the levels to this stuff. And Oklahoma looked like the champs. And they've done they did this, mind you, but they're 12-1. They only lost 1 game to the Blazers, which was like almost a fluke, you could say, at this point. They're doing all this stuff without some of their key guys. They do not have Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams has not returned from his injury, from his wrist surgery, I should say. You missing Lou Dort as well. Um, and they're doing this all without those guys who are big contributors on this team. And they're just plugging and playing guys, and everybody's prepared and everybody's ready. Versus the Lakers, and I don't think they're ready for this game. I don't think they're ready for that up and down and that demoralizing defense. And Coach JJ Redick of the Lakers said the Lakers had a lot of confusion on the defensive end all night, and he said, "I'll take some ownership of that. Hasn't been a great road trip so far." End quote. Um, I don't think it reflects. I don't think it's reflective of who the group is, who the group is gonna be, but it's reflective of who we are right now. So we need to course correct. Coach JJ Redick after the bludgeoning, the loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And like, why is my flashlight on? Flashlight's on my phone. Um, yeah, and that's really all I have to say about this game. Literally, like I say this jokingly in these videos sometimes. Like I go through the schedule sometimes, and I tell you guys like, "Oh, this is a turn off at halftime game. This is not going to be good." And most of the time, I'm wrong. I thought this game was going to be good, and literally after like the first maybe 5 minutes of the third quarter, I was like, "Yeah, I don't have to watch this. I don't have to watch this. Make my night easy. Let me go to bed early." Went to bed early. Woke up early. Recorded a couple of videos for you guys that you guys will get later this weekend, and save me some time. So thank you, Oklahoma, for that. Letting me go to bed early and blowing out the Lakers. But I also want to quickly just announce something, not announce something, but like tell you guys something that I saw on Twitter slash X last night. Um, that like I had alluded to, or like I said, Oklahoma City Thunder are just plugging and playing players, just out of thin air almost. Like Isaiah Joe, AJ Mitchell, like you have guys who like are teens scores, 20-point scores, who just like sometimes just sit on the bench for the whole game. Like they only play like half the minutes they've played over the last couple of games, right? Um, and they're just big contributors now. And they've built this team through the draft. There's only a couple players here that have not been built through the draft. Excuse me. Isaiah Hartenstein being one of those. Alex Crusoe being one of those. The rest of these guys are like for lack of a better or to be more like facetious is that like they're born and bred Oklahoma. Like they were here when the team was absolutely terrible, and now they're here at the top. And this year in um, this draft coming up, they have picks still from other teams. They have a pick from the Clippers this year. They have a pick from the Jazz this year. Um, that's two picks in the top. What is that? The top 10. They have two top 10 picks projected this year again, and they have the 30th. Well, no, that's from Oklahoma. So yeah, so they have two picks in this draft, and they're gonna add more talent to this team. A team that's won a championship, man, and looks like they're gonna win a championship this year again. So that potentially they're gonna be back-to-back champions, which hasn't been done in forever, and they're gonna have two top 10 picks. And then the game they played last night, and me like thinking on what they did last night, blew my mind because I was like, oh my god, the rich are gonna get richer. They look like they have the regular season like mapped out. Like they can take a couple tough losses. They took one to the Trailblazers, like I said, game winning shot. Those are going to happen throughout the season. But man, when when they beat a team that's like been pretty good so far, and they in the Lakers, and they've walked over everybody else, including the Lakers, it becomes a matter of fact that like, oh my gosh, this team might run the league for the next 10 years. And whether the bare minimum for this team is just making the conference finals every year. That's the bare minimum that they're going to do with the talent they have, with everybody healthy. That's the bare minimum. There might be another team that comes along in the next 10 years that obviously the league adjusts. The league adjusted to the Warriors. The league adjusts to every champion that comes through every year, because that's how the league works. They get more tape on you. They get better matchups on you. Younger players become better. They become all-star level players. They become playoff players. They get to match up against these established players and Chet and Shea and J Dub and all these guys. And previous to that, other teams have been matched up with other younger players that those teams think can match up against the champions. It's a go around circle. That's what's fun about sports. But this Oklahoma City Thunder team is going to continue to be able to add talent, be able to continue to rotate people in and out, and they're going to have to cost cut at some point. But that's next year. That's the year after this. So the 10-year window is open, but over the course of the next couple years, the window is open. It has a stick jammed in it. Like the window's wide open. It's not closing at any time, any point soon, unless something catastrophic happens. But that's the observation I made last night with this Oklahoma City Thunder team in that game and in the grand scheme of this season, this very young season, and the seasons going forward, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, that is it. That is this video talking about the two games from last night. Like I said, I recorded a couple videos before this. So you guys will get that this weekend. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's an All-Star game, um, All-Star weekend video, very brief video, and then a bit of a longer WNBA women's basketball video. I hope you guys enjoy as well. So um, stay on the lookout for that. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.